Hello, everyone. Welcome to our West Coast Trail 2026 planning sessions. I'm Mike Blake at MB Guiding, your Vancouver Island hiking guide. We're streaming to you on YouTube and Facebook Live from the Sandwich Peninsula on southern Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia. Say hello in the chat and comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll get started right away. All right, we're rocking and rolling on Facebook. We've got 57 viewers over there, 14 on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Paul from Chilliwack is back. Welcome back. Hey, Gord from Thunder Bay, Kevin from Cloverdale, Jennifer from Kamloops, Hannah from Port Moody, Nicole from Kelowna, Christina from Sundre, Dan from Courtney, Tracy from Coldstream, Karen from Boulder, Kirsten from Kelowna, welcome. Heidi from Seattle. Ryan from Lloydminster. Right on. We've got folks from all over. Erie from Calgary. Lara from upstairs, per usual. Mark from Saskatoon. Christina from Sundre. Anne from Saanich. Colin, welcome back from Mission. Hey, Debbie from Nanaimo. Tyler, welcome from Ottawa. Hey, Dee Dee from Toronto. Hey, Teresa from Holdley, Justin from Calgary, Life on the Lights coming in from Estevan Point Light Station on the Hesquiat Trail. Welcome. Lance and Carol. All right. Sherry from Pitt Meadows, Stephanie from Langley. Wow, folks, this is awesome. We are rocking it today. Adam from Langley. All right, we got a bunch of mainlanders. Carlene from West Kelowna. Carmen from West Kelowna, right on. We got the Okanagan contingent here, Sam and Arm. Hey, Crystal, welcome back. Hey, Sheila, welcome. Right on. Lots of familiar names here. This is great. Hey, Nina from London. Sherry from Regina. Hey, Wendy. Hey, that's awesome. You made it. Joshua from Kelowna. Catherine from Haida Gwaii. All right. Corey. Hey, Corey, what's happening from Kamloops? Awesome. Familiar names. We got folks here on our trips coming up this season. That's awesome to see you. Marie from New Westminster. Hey, Christina from Sundre also. Mylene from Calgary. Ursula from Cold Lake. Hi, Alexis from Calgary. Lots of Calgarians. Hey, welcome all of the Alberta team. Right on. Gina from Burnaby. Stuart from Toronto. Melody from Holdley. Hey, Justin from sunny Victoria. Yeah, not right now. Right on, more Toronto. Hey, Tilly from Ladner. Melanie from Mill Bay. Matthew from Surrey. Right on, Kim's back. Finally planning to do the WCT. That's awesome. Anne-Marie from Colorado. A couple of Colorados. Hey, Lori, welcome back. So we've got folks here, new folks. We got folks here that are coming on some trips this season with us, and we've got folks that have been on some trips in the past with us. So that's awesome. Right now we've got 68 viewers on Facebook and 20 on YouTube. So welcome, everyone. Let's get this going on. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to show you how to plan the West Coast Trail like a pro. West Coast Trail reservations for 2026 open on Monday, January the 19th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Woohoo! During this live stream, I'm going to share my pro tips to help plan successful trips and maximize your chances of completing the West Coast Trail in a fun, safe, and rewarding way. Plus, you'll want to stick around for a fun prize giveaway. We want you to participate too, so ask questions in the chat and comments. And participation in the Q&A is going to be a part of entering the giveaway. Hey, Oleg and Marina from New Jersey, right on, and Andrea from Idaho. Cool, bunch of folks from down south. That's awesome. Great, thanks again for joining us. This is great to see you all here, and I'm just going to do a quick intro for those that are new, and then we'll get into the planning session. So I'm Mike Blake. I'm a Vancouver Island hiking guide. I've been living on Vancouver Island for a number of years. I think I moved here in '95, so it's been a while. I'm Association of Canadian Mountain Guides Certified Hiking Guide. You may know me through our MB Guiding website, or maybe you heard about our guided trips and workshops before. You can go to our website here, mbguiding.ca, and check out the About page. There's a bit more about me there. So I've been backpacking for around 45 years and guiding for over 20 of them. I specialize in outdoor education, instructing hiking backpacking skills like trip planning, wilderness navigation, and risk management. I'm also a wildlife viewing guide and member of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association of British Columbia and an instructor for the Interpretive Guides Association. My partner Lara and I started MB Guiding together in 2014. Lara is a big part of MB Guiding. She's the creative writer behind all of our online content. And she also holds the record for participating in the most MB Guiding trips and workshops. And Lara's hanging out in the chat too, so you can say hi to her over there. Bunch of shout outs coming up for all our repeat alumni that are coming on trips this season. Welcome back, everyone. And also, I'll give some shout outs to Valerie, the West Coast Trail Facebook group admin, for doing such an awesome job over there. We're pushing 50,000 members there, which is amazing. Another big shout out to Wayne Aitken at Blisters and Bliss, Brett Marl, West Coast Trail app developer, Life on the Lights, West Coast Trail historians, welcome. Carol and Lance out there who had a big part in putting the West Coast Trail app together. And then, of course, our family of partners. We wouldn't be able to do this all without all these folks. So we've got a ton of folks we work with, from transportation providers, different hiking clubs, different brands, different associations, all sorts of different family members here. And then also a big shout out to our friends, fans, and followers, and clients, and future prospects. I know you're itching to go on a trip with us. All right, let's get to the giveaway details here. Okay, so we've got 3 awesome prize packages today. Each prize package will contain a copy of the 10th edition Blisters and Bliss. So these are signed copies by Wayne Aitken, the West Coast Trail legend and co-author of Blisters and Bliss. We're also going to get a hot t-shirt out to you folks. So I'm just going to go into the Kindred Coast. This is where the West Coast Trail collection lives here. And we're going to give away one of these t-shirts. Now, I know somebody's on here that won a t-shirt at our last live stream, and we discovered that to send it where they were was going to take weeks and weeks and cost lots of money. So a big shout out to Wendy Merritt for contributing her winnings to our West Coast Trail Loaner Pack program. And if you don't know what that is, ask me in the chat and I'll tell you all about it. So we are going to give away a t-shirt here. The caveat is it has to be sent to somewhere in Canada, as we figured out today. So we'll give away a t-shirt in the live stream giveaway to somebody in Canada. So if you win it, if you're from the States, you can give it to somebody in Canada. Hopefully you're coming to do the West Coast Trail this summer, and I'll hand deliver it to you. All right, let's look at some of the other prizes here. I think this is a goodie. This is a one-to-one personalized coaching session for each of the winners with myself to help you plan a trip like a pro. These are just like the personalized coaching sessions that our clients participate in when they sign up for a guided trip. So if you're watching us on YouTube, tell everybody else to join us there. And if you're watching us on Facebook, tell people to join us there. It looks like we're at 73 on Facebook and 27 on YouTube. So we've got, we're going to crack 100 right now. So we've got 100 viewers right now. Right on. Thanks, everyone. That's awesome. So if you haven't checked out our new YouTube channel, you can find us on YouTube at Mike Blake. So we just started this up, and it's a work in progress, but it's youtube.com at Mike Blake. And we want to build up our viewers over there too. So we're on 2 platforms. You'll see all of our archives from previous live streams there as well. If you go into the playlists, you'll see them all in there. I've put the last few years of live streams in there. So we brought those over from our Ecamm Live recordings, and I uploaded them into YouTube. So we're going to keep storing the archive there because Facebook deletes the live videos after 30 days now. So that is what inspired us to get onto YouTube. And who knows what else we'll do over there. So yeah, go check out youtube.com at Mike Blake. If you're keen to win one of the prize packages, hang out with us and be sure to participate in the chat and comments. I'll share more details on how to win the giveaway towards the end of the live stream. And if you're watching the replay, the giveaway is going to last for 24 hours after the live stream concludes. So if you're watching the replay, participate in the comments in the replay, ask questions, and you'll get entered into the live stream as well. All right, who else do we got here now? Hey, Lisa from Kelowna. Hey, Richard from Edmonton. Tamara from Kelowna. Right on, we got half of the Okanagan here. That's awesome. Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's start planning for the West Coast Trail 2026. And this is going to be a planning session and a Q&A, so I'm going to do my best to answer the questions as we go. So I'm not just going to rant and rave for an hour. There's going to be an interactive component, and I'm going to answer questions as we go. So post your questions in the comments, and the best way for me to find them is if you put a Q and a colon in front of the question. So Q and colon in front of the question, and then I can find the question. I can filter for those. So I've got a question here that came up right away, and it's pretty relevant for now. Will this be recorded? So it is being recorded in Ecamm, in Facebook, and on YouTube. So the archive will have the recording after the live stream concludes, so shortly after. All right, let's start planning for the West Coast Trail 2026, folks. Who's excited? Give me some thumbs up. Let me know who's going on the trail or planning to go on this trail this summer, this spring, this fall. Hey, Jay from Ontario, welcome. Hey, Sarah from Linwood. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Folks are excited. There we go. We just cracked our thumbs up into 24 right then. Right on. Yeah, if you want to help us get this word out, spread this around. You can share the live stream in YouTube or on Facebook. And we're going to do more of these. I'm going to do another planning session on reservation day. So I do a session live during reservation. So I get on a bit early. I'll do the same thing again, walk you through the reservation system, which is the plan today, and then show you how I get reservations for recreational trips. Right on, Stephanie, September 26th. Lance is going again. So excited, says Jennifer. Ursula, hoping to get in for the first time. Right on. Yes, Petra, I can certainly do that. Thank you for the question. I'm going to favorite that and put it aside when we get to that part. Thank you for the question. Hey, Stan from Caravinos, solo in June, right on. First timer, Stephanie, welcome. Great segue question from Maria. We're going to get right into that right away. I'm going to favorite that one. Carlene says it's going to be her first time. Fingers crossed. Awesome. Okay, well, let's get to the planning. So I'm going to demo some websites, some resources that I use to plan all my trips. The most important thing we need to learn right now is how to reserve the trip. So the West Coast Trail is a reservation-only trip. And before you even make a reservation, you should probably have a little background on what the trail is all about. So I'll just do that a bit before we get in there. Hey, Irie, Solo, yeah, right on. You'll get a pass. We'll get into that. Tamara's 10th anniversary trip, right on. Good job. That'll be fun. July 26th. Right on. Okay, lots of excited folks and going on the trail. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do, go check out our website, mbguiding.ca. Scroll down the home page, and you'll see a blog post right on the home page. The first one, West Coast Trail, Pacific Rim National Park Reserve. This is our trail guide. This is the instruction manual on how to plan the trip. It's super simple. We've been working on this for 10 years. We didn't make it complicated. It has no ads or affiliate marketing. It's really easy to read. And yeah, no pop-ups. Gotta like that. Table of contents here, easy to navigate, so it gives you some specific items of interest. My favorite part about this that I've been working on with Lara for 10 years now is the trip report section. So when we first started doing this, we were just putting up a trip report here and there every year, depending on the trip, depending on the group, if they wanted the trip report online in a public space. And then we made a deal with everybody in 24 that we're gonna post all our trip reports. So 25, we did the first time ever, 5 trip reports, 5 trips. So I did a solo trip May 1st to 4th. Posted that trip report live from the field. So every day I posted online from the field. Then I did 3 guided trips, June, July, and August. And then Lara did a trip with her friend in September. So 5 different perspectives. And something that's really important to know about the West Coast Trail is it's different every time. So I've done it 30 times and it's been different every time. So the trip reports are all different. So this is a really great way to see itineraries, what type of wildlife viewing we're seeing out there, weather conditions, route conditions, what the trail looks like, maps of the trail, the story of the trail that day, that trip, the weather of that day. There's also links to maps and GPS routes and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend checking that out just to give you some inspiration for the trail. mbguiding.ca homepage, and then just scroll down to the West Coast Trail guide. Tons of stuff in there, and the trip reports are my favorite part right there. The next thing you want to do is you got to head on over to the Parks Canada West Coast Trail Hike of a Lifetime page. This is where you're going to find all the official information about the trail. So you have to read this. It's a part of going on the trail. So do the blog to get inspired, and then go to the official Parks Canada website, because it's going to lead you to all the things that you need to do. You'll get information right at the top. These are important notices that Parks Canada thinks are important for you to know. Some things that you just click on, it'll open up and tell you about it. Is this hike for you? This is really important. You got to figure out if this hike's for you. I'm going to skip over the whole safety part of it right now, but just know that you need to figure it out for yourself if you can do it. And Parks makes it very clear who it's for and who it's not. The one thing to remember that's really important is that the West Coast Trail is a type 3 remote trail. So type 3, it's not a type 1, type 2, it's a type 3. Everybody heard of type 1 fun, type 2 fun, and type 3 fun? The West Coast Trail is a type 3 trail. So the reason it's that way is because it's very wild, and it's not maintained to what you may expect when you hike Parks Canada trails in other parks. So like Jasper, Banff, Yoho, Kootenay, just to give you some examples. It's not groomed. There's a lot of obstacles, and that's what makes it so fun. So if you want to learn more what a type 3 remote trail is, you need to go over and read about this, because it may not be for you, this type of trail. We see a lot of people later in the season saying that they think the trail needs to be repaired more. Well, it is being repaired more. It just takes 50 years to repair it. It's a long process. It's all the reasoning for it is right here. So I want to make that really clear before you make your reservation, that you need to know that this is a rough and tough trek for most hikers. Some people can just cruise through this, especially the experienced people in really good conditions. They can have easy trips, especially if it's sunny and dry. But if it's wet and cold and miserable and muddy and everything's broken and in disrepair, which is likely, there's going to be a lot of disrepair out there, it's really tough for the average hiker. For the experienced hikers, it could be a walk in the park. So let's go check out the West Coast Trail Hike of a Lifetime page first to make sure the hike is for you. And then we're going to start talking about reservations. There's a bunch more info here. Maximum group size is 10. There's specific entry and exit points. There are potential fire bans, typically early to late summer. There's no fire, so be prepared to stay warm on your own without a fire. You need a pass and a permit, and you need a reservation. So we're going to jump right into that, because this is about getting that reservation on January the 8th or 19th, sorry, at 8 a.m. January the 19th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So you're going to want to go to the reservation service, and I'm going to show you where that is. This is the Parks Canada reservation page, reservation.pc.gc.ca. All these links we can share out in the chat. And I'm going to show you how to make a reservation. Just going to do some questions. Hey, nice folks doing the questions. Appreciate that. So I'm just going to start filtering these here, and then we'll show you how to do a reservation. We'll get to tides in a bit, Petra. We want to get a reservation first. Parks, Tracy, Parks Canada Pass. Will the family pass cover my hiking party even if they're not family? Or will they need their own passes, even though you're the permit holder? They don't typically ask if for ID, so that's up to your discretion. But there's probably some logistical rule about how that all works. I know that as a guide, I can't use my family pass with my commercial clients, but I use it with Lara, my partner. Great question. Let's look into that one. And it's on the website, I'm sure. This is a good one. We'll pop this on right away. Yeah, Mike, they don't allow access because they don't want people chopping up the wood on the trail. There's a ton of wood on the trail just laying about. And axes are heavy, so you don't want to bring an axe. And they're banned from the trail. So it's just the way it is. There's lots of other places to play with axes. Good question. Tyler, this is good questions for getting into the reservations here, because you want to know about this beforehand. So Is there any way to find out what repairs have been done to the trail since last year? Yes, and I'm going to do it on May the 1st. You got to hike the trail. So May 1st, I do my recon trip. I hike the trail opening day, and I'll do it end to end, and I'll figure it out, and I'll let you know on May 4th when I get off the trail what repairs have been done, because I have a log of it all. Carlene, perfect question for right now. I've seen the Canada Strong Pass applied to the trail. Yes. So this is very clear on the Parks Canada website right at the top. So this is how we're going to do this today, folks. You're going to ask questions, and I'm going to switch back and forth between pages here, and we'll answer questions in real time here. So at the very top of the Parks Canada West Coast Trail Hike of a Lifetime page, it says the very first notification, enjoy your Canada Strong Pass. From, well, the trail's closed in December, but from June 19th to September 7th. So that means you get free admission. You do not need a national park entry pass for that day, which is separate from the backcountry use. But you get 25% off your backcountry use pass. So if you want to know about the cost breakdown before you do your reservation, it's all listed right here on the website. You got to go through the website here and look at the information. If you scroll down, you'll see a drop down. So click on that. There's an info about the National Park Pass right there. And then it tells you what they do with the money from it right there. So if you're curious, there you go. And then it's going to have the fees right below the reservation link. So these are all the fees that are involved this year. So it's gone up a bit, folks, not a lot, but a bit. I found out about this when we got our commercial reservations in the fall. But there's now an orientation fee, which is documented there. The backcountry use permit, it used to be called overnight use permit. So that's in there. Then depending on what route you're doing, you've got your ferry fees. So if you're doing half the trail, you may only be doing one ferry. If you're doing the whole trail, you're doing 2 ferries. If you're doing a yo-yo, you're going to be doing more ferries depending on how you're yo-yoing. If you're entering from the midpoint at Nitnat Village, there's different fees for the ferry there, which goes direct to the Didadat. There's your national park entry fee information, and then the reservation fee per group. So all this is documented on the website. So that's why I'm showing you this. And this all links also from our website. Everything on our website links to the Parks Canada website. That's how we built it. So you can figure it out from going from site to site. Yeah, all the info is right there. Great questions. Petra, great question. So let's pull that one up. Do you need to create an account prior to January 19th reserve? No, you do not need to create it to start your reservation, but you do need to create it to finish your reservation. So it's kind of a no and yes answer. So I'm going to show you this right now, folks. Let's get in here. So this is reservation.pc.gc.ca, and I'm going to do this again on reservation day, about an hour and a bit before the reservations go up. So this is where you go. This is where you have to go get your reservation. So you could open up an account right away. So you'd sign in. You just click on the top here, you sign in. If you don't have an account, it's going to bring you through a bunch of information that you have to fill out. And it actually documents this, I believe, somewhere right around here. I just saw this earlier today. Oops. Just give me a sec. I saw a spot here earlier today where it lays out when making, yeah, there it is. Okay, so when making a reservation, this is what you need to have. So you need to have your preferred start and end date, the first choice and alternate dates. So when we do our guided trip reservations, we have 3 dates always. So first, second, and third choices. I highly recommend having your prime date based on whatever needs you have, and then having an alternate day on either side of it, whether days on either side, weeks or months. Have 3 dates that are prime. You need to know your access point. You know, north, south, south, north, it's all good. And if you've done it 30 times, you'll know that it's amazing both directions. And I alternate now because I would get the reservation for where it's open when your date comes up. You need to know your exit point, but it's not firm. You can change it later. You need to know the number of hikers. The hiker names and emergency contacts for each hiker. You can add this in later. You definitely need a method of payment. So Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. This is important. You can't use anything else. And then you need an email address. So you definitely need this stuff here, Preferred start date and location. I would be flexible with the north and the south. It doesn't matter. They're both amazing trips. I'll give you some of my preferences and reasons, but you got to do it both ways or else you won't know what your preference is. You can't depend on somebody else's idea because it's going to be different than yours. You definitely need to know the number of hikers in your group. That's important because you're going to pay per hiker. And then, as I mentioned, you can change the names and emergency contacts later. There's a cancellation policy. You can figure that out afterwards if you have to change things. You can change things, but you cannot change your start date. You can change the people on the trip. Your start date is firm. That's the most important part. And then have those payment. It's ready to go. Okay, I'm getting lots of questions in the queue. Colon, these are the ones I'm filtering for. Jennifer is asking, are reservations going to be randomized or first come, first serve? So no queue it as far as we know this season, Jennifer. That's been the word. I have not heard Parks Canada say that officially, but I've heard somebody that heard that. So no queue it. It's going to be first click, first served, if you know what that means. So be ready to go with your computer on the fastest connection. And don't have 10 computers on the same line because you're going to slow yourself down and you're going to be competing against yourself for the same dates. Great question. No queue it as far as I know. Same as last year. They quit the queue it the year before. So 24 was queue it, 25 was no queue it, 26 is supposed to be no queue it. If you don't know what the queue it is, you can look it up online. QUEUE, I believe. It's a program that concert ticket providers use. They have it, Park Canada has it for some trips, but not others. And they do not have it on the West Coast Trail as of last year. So this could change. I mean, Parks could come around tomorrow and see my live stream and say, well, actually, we're going to change it. Because last year we didn't know to the day of. And then we found out afterwards. So just be prepared for the unexpected. Oh, great question from Stephanie. Is it more successful, easier to get a reservation via phone or online? I've never done it by phone, but I've heard of people that have. If you can't get it online, I'd be ready to call. They answer the phone sometimes, so be ready. I've never used the phone to call them for a reservation, but I know that people have. Just gonna top up my tea here. Might be a little late for caffeine, but I gotta keep moving here. We got a afternoon tea from Murchie's for Christmas, so my Vancouver Island special mug too for y'all. Tilly Tongue, unfortunately, they are not open, and that is right on the parks page. So if you go to the parks page here, scroll right to the top, the very first notification, or the second one actually, but the first one of concern. See, there's two concerns. See the yellow? This is information, blue with an I, yellow, I think that's an exclamation mark. Carmana Point and Pacina light stations are closed to the public by superintendent order. You can click on the link here and it'll explain what's going on there. So that answers your question right there, right at the top of the parks page. So highly recommend reading all the content because you're going to find a ton of info. Parks Canada has done an excellent job creating this page for all their park properties that they have, but specifically the West Coast Trail. I've been hiking it since 2015 and it's only gotten better over the last 10 years. But I know they've been working on it for decades, so they're pros. They know how to do this. The page has got a ton of info here. So yeah, just go onto the West Coast Trail Hike of a Lifetime page and you'll see the notifications at the top, and there's the info about the Carmana Point and Pacina Point light stations. And click on that, it'll open up a link that'll explain what's going on there. So yeah, required reading for sure. And besides the blog right here. Okay, let's get to reservations. Then I'll go back to some questions. Ingrid, oh, I have a question here. I just can't resist answering. The end date is flexible. Great segue. So I'll show you. Let's do this together. Here we go. So I'm in the reservation site. You're going to want to come in here before 8 a.m. on January the 19th. I'm showing you right now. I'm on January 7th. You can do this too. We're going to navigate the reservation site right now together. Okay? Reservation.pc.gc.ca. You're going to click on the reservations link, scroll down, go to Backcountry. Backcountry. That's the menu item on the top here. backcountry. So you got to click backcountry. Not backcountry campsite, which is the default. Not backcountry zone, which is the next radio button, but West Coast Trail. They make it really easy. There's only 3 trips that have their own radio button. So it shows you how popular and how much Parks is trying to make it easier for you. Click on the West Coast Trail radio button. It's going to open up Park, Pacific Rim, arrival departure, party size. This is all you need to get started. Okay. So if you've already got your sign in done, I'm not going to sign in right now. So I'm going to do that on January the 19th, and I'm going to go through that. So if you want to join me at that, I do that live as we go. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not going to demo that because I don't want to set up a new account. I already have an account. So because I have an account, I can't set up a new account to demo it. But I'll show you how I get in on the 19th. But you can practice without signing in, as I'm showing you right now. I'm not signed in. You can go through most of the system until you have to pay. Then you need to log in. So you should have your sign-in set up ahead of time for that reason. Okay, I want to go May 1st. That's my start date, folks. May 1st. I'm going to do 3 nights. I like to do it recon style, fast and light for me. So I could do it in 6 nights, 7 days, which I do with guided trips. And that's the way we like to hike. Guides pace, nice and cruisy, sightseeing, wildlife viewing, taking our time, lots of rest, taking our time. That's the main point. But when I recon it at the beginning of the season, I'm not going with a group. My pack is way lighter, and I'm going to do it in 3 nights. Party size. I've got a co-pilot with me this season, so we're going to do party size 2. And then I'm going to click the search button. It's going to start opening up some new information here. You scroll down and you'll see split your stay, the first little window that this is new. We did not see this earlier. Access point, exit point. Okay. Nothing's in there yet, but I'm going to keep scrolling down because I want to show you what I do. I look at the map right away because what it's going to show May 1st, the start date that I want, my prime date. When I scroll to the map view, it's going to show me what entrances have availability right away. So I can just scroll over them and see available 25 spots, Pachina Bay. Available 20 spots, Nitnat Village. Available Gordon River, 25. So this is really good information though. If you see this all red, you're not going to get your first choice. So what I would recommend is immediately going to the calendar. Click on the calendar. What it's going to do, it will show you calendars for all 3 entrances in the dates near your first choice. This is a beautiful way to see what's next. So your second choice, maybe it's the next day. If it's green, click it. And then as soon as you start clicking these, it fills up your cart. So if you see green, click it. If you see green here on the map and you see Pachina and that's where you want to start on May 1st, click it. That's going to get you into the ticket section. That gets you into the cart. If you get to the calendar view, which is a great way to see dates available around your hopeful date, which is May 1st, you can see all 3 entrances in one view, 14 days out. You can also easily just press next and see the next 7 days. The next 7 days. Really quickly here, folks. It's a fast way of seeing a lot of information versus going back up, changing your arrival date, changing your party size or whatever your departure date. That's going to take a lot more energy. Just stay down here, click the green one. Red's gone. You're too late. You missed it. So next year or grab another date. If you have specific dates you have to go on, it makes it very challenging, especially if it's in July and August. Those are the hot ticket dates. So this is my workflow. I put in my arrival date. I put in my departure date. I put in my party size. I press search. It opens up this next section down here. Right now, I can't click on this access point. So maybe that's something that'll change when the reservation's live. I can click on my exit point. So let's see what I want to exit on the north end. And then if I click reserve, what's going to happen? We're just playing around with the website here. Nothing's happening. This is a good demo for what could happen on January the 19th when there's 20 or 30,000 people trying to get July and August long weekend at the same time. So just be prepared for the unexpected. I highly recommend going to the map view right away. It'll show you the 3 entrance points with the availability when you scroll over it. So how many people can get in on there right away. And I would just click on the green. And if it's north, it's north. If it's south, it's south. And then go to the calendar view and look for dates around it. So that's my workflow, folks. Once you get your cart filled with the dates, you press reserve and then it sends you through the rest of it. But once you got the dates in your cart, you're good to go. Okay, let's go back here. Carlene's asking, oh, Tracy, about, yeah, I'll just reiterate that. You can change your end date. Yeah, so Tracy, you have 14 days to finish the trail. Your start date's the most important, but you can finish the trail whenever you want within that 14-day window. Just let parks know when you're finished. So you have 14 days on your permit. The start date's the most important. Yeah, the website is not clear on that. So hopefully that helps. There's some clarification. You have 14 days on the permit. There's probably a spot somewhere I could dig into on the website that says that you have 14 days on the permit. But I think Parks doesn't really want you to have this sort of flexible end date. They want you to tell them when, you have to tell them when you book your reservation, but you can change it later. Like some people are slower, some people are faster. So yeah, you can change it later, but you need to let Parks know when you change it. So if you get off the trail early, you check out, you let them know. If you get off the trail late, you check out, and you let them know. Hopefully that's helpful. Carlene's asking about, oh, that's answering Tracy's and the other Tracy. There's 2 Tracy's asked the same question. So Carlene, do you recommend booking the trail bus same day? It can wait. So Michael says, I had him on last time, it gets flooded on opening day, his phone lines. So I would just get into the website here and, look at the schedule ahead of time and see what works with your permit and all that, get the planning done. And then you can book online. You can call in, but Michael said that it was not necessary to call immediately after you get your permit because he's the one answering the phone. And when 1,000 people call him at the same time, a lot of people end up on hold. So great question. And Michael can chime in if he wants to change that information. Another one, Gord, yeah, I think we covered that one. So a lot of questions revolving around the length of the hike. Yeah, you can change the length of the hike. Just let parks know. I'm going through reservations questions now, and then we'll come back to some of the trip tech stuff like tides and things a little bit after. Yeah, great question from Stuart. Thanks, Stuart, on YouTube. So you just need to book the start date. Yes. You do not need to book each campsite. You pick your campsites while you're out there. And so that's flexible. There's no permit per campsite. There's just a start date permit. That's the most important part. Great question. These are awesome questions, folks. Keep them coming. Yes, Carmen. So once in the cart, ideally, you don't have a glitch with your internet connection or there's a million people and they didn't prepare for it, which has happened before. Just be prepared for anything. But ideally, when you have your cart filled with your dates, you are good to go. You pay and you're out and you get a permit. You don't get your actual permit right away, but you'll get a confirmation that you paid. Great questions coming in, folks. And remember, these are all Q with a colon. This is how I'm doing the questions here so I can filter them because they're just pumping in here. And then I'll go back through the comments later and do some more follow-up. But right now, we have 162 comments, so I'm going through them here one by one. Great question, Stephanie. Are bus tickets set in stone or flexible? Yeah, so the getting to the trail is going to be set in stone because you have to start on a specific date. But if you do change your pickup, you need to let them know. They don't like it if you just show up and say, can I get on? And there's no spots because that's stressful for everyone. But ideally, there's a way you can contact them ahead of time. There is cell service through US Towers on most of the trail beaches. So yeah, I would give them a heads up if you're planning to change your return reservation. Great question. Great question from Eileen. So you do not pay longer. So yeah, if you stay the question is, if you stay longer, do you have to pay for the extra days, nights? No. So it's one cost per trip. And we'll go back here to the parks page here and scroll down to the fees section here. So if you go down to fees, it explains the breakdown here. So the West Coast Trail backcountry use permit fee is $184.75. That's for from 1 to 14 days inclusive. So you have 14 days to finish. Some people do the trail in a day. Believe it or not, the record's 9 hours, 32 minutes, and 32 seconds unbroken to this day. So they needed a West Coast Trail permit. It's $184.75, and you can use that for 14 days. Then there's the orientation fee on top of that. The ferry fees, depending on which route you're doing, will change accordingly. And then the reservation fee as well. So that's all listed on the website there. Great question. Ooh, this is a really good one from Mar192012 on YouTube. Can you change the party number later? Not in July and August when it's fully booked. You may get lucky and be able to add somebody on the same start date, but I wouldn't count on it. You need to have your permits in hand for your start date for all your hikers. So get more than if you think you need to. If you think you're going to have a fifth person and you're reserving for 4, reserve for 5, because you may not be able to add another person to your start date. There's this very specific number of people starting per trailhead per day. And again, this is on the website. If you just go on over to the parks page here, just lost my cursor. There it is. Go to the parks page here on the reservation site and look at the map view, and you can see this in right here. Go down here. So when I scroll over each trailhead, it shows that there's 25 out of 25 on the south, 25 out of 25 on the north, and 20 out of 20 on the mid. That's all they have per end and middle per day from May 1st to September 30th. So they don't add extra people. You need to get your permits for the trip. Great question. You cannot add them. You might get lucky and there's a cancellation, or there is spots. It happens in May, June, and September that you could add people because they're not fully booked. Typically not in July and August, unless it starts raining really hard. Great questions, folks. Oh, you'll have to check out the cancellation policy online, but there's a whole bunch of info on the parks page that explains it in detail. Yeah, I'm gonna send you over to the parks page for that one because I don't want to break that down. It'll take too long. It's a bit complicated. I can look into it and I'll update later. Thanks for the question. I'm gonna follow that one up. Iliad1065 on YouTube. Dan, great question. Can you be logged into Parks Canada before 8 a.m. or do you have to click a button right at 8 a.m. on the 19th? So you can be logged in for sure into your account before 8 a.m. Absolutely. Stuart, the way to get to the trail is the West Coast Trail Express. And I'm going to direct you over to their website here, West Coast Trail Express. This is the transportation provider from north to south. And all the info is there. It's also linked from the Parks Canada page. And it's linked from our blog. If you scroll down to the West Coast Trail Express, there's all the links to it right there, and some hot tips there too to help you figure it all out. So yeah, there's a ton of info on our websites. Our website we built, the Parks Canada website, and West Coast Trail Express website. Wayne, thanks for the question on Facebook. 25% discount is just for the permit, the backcountry use permit, the 184.65. Not the ferries. The ferries fees go directly to the local bands that provide the service. They are not going to be discounted by 25%. Great question. 25 permits per day, and there's 1 permit per person. Wendy, thanks for the question. So each trailhead on the north and south has 25 available permits per day. Each person needs their own permit. The exception is the mid entrance has only 20. So a total of 70 permits or hikers per day. So permit, one per hiker. Great question. Great stuff, folks. This is awesome. I'm going to do a couple of techie questions just to add some more fun and flavor into the day here. And then we'll come back to some of the other questions about parking and things like that. Okay, so Petra asked this at the very beginning, a quick overview of how to read the tide charts. Yes, so if you go to our website, again, that's my first recommendation to check out our website, mbguiding.ca, scroll down to the tide section. There's a short little blurb here and it explains why we need to be aware of tides. And then we broke down from the trail map exactly where the tides are, north to south and south to north, and the passable height that they need to be passed at safely at a minimum. Important to note, minimum. This is based on the Parks Canada West Coast Trail map from 2025. Parks Canada uses and recommends the Tofino 08615 tide tables. This is the chart. So you can put in your dates and figure it out. Or I'll show you some magic. We are going to go and share my phone screen. Welcome to the phone screen. Let's see if we can get this going here. Just going to bring up my phone. There we go. All right, this is a collection of apps I use to plan the trail. And the top right corner is the West Coast Trail app. This is your ticket to figuring out tides. I've got all my trips in here. I'm going to show an example from my May 1st to 4th trip coming up. This gives you the tides and a summary of them right here for my trips. You just type in your trip dates and it'll give you the tide passables for each date. Highly recommend checking this app. It's free to use online. But if you want to use it offline, you got to buy the year subscription pass. Or it's not a subscription anymore, it's a 1-year pass. So I'll show you a quick way to do this. I want to start a new trip, set up trip. So I'm going to change my trip. I want to start on, say, I'm going to pick a random date. June 1st. I want to finish, or I want to start in Gordon River. I want to finish in Pachina Bay. I want to do 3 nights because I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to do Coolite, Cribs, and Chickawas. Oh, okay, that sounds good. I could change this though. If I want to do camper, let me do camper Cribs. Susiat. Done. Now it's planned out my entire trip for me and showed me the tides for that trip right there. It also gives me all the ladders. So it gives me the passable heights that are safe at a minimum. Important to remember, I'll come to that in a sec. It also gives a ton more info. Brett and I have done multiple live streams breaking this all down, and we'll probably do more of them coming up in the future. So if you want to see the app in action on a live stream, just let me know in the comments. But there's a ton of more stuff in here. Brett's been working on this for a few years now. If you want to do ladder counts on each day, count the rungs, you could do that too. There's a ton of info in here. It goes on and on. I could spend hours just showing you how to use this. Just want you to know that it exists right now and you should check it out. The free version works online. So I've got all my trips in here. I do all my professional trips in here and you can see them all listed right there. Yeah, you need to figure out the tides. That's important. I mentioned it was a minimum, so let me just show you that. The tides are predicted into the future. So they're predictions, but these predictions are the minimum heights. Sometimes environmental conditions change and these minimum heights will be different. You can see right here, there's the actual and the minimum. Sometimes it goes lower, but most of the time it goes higher, and it's typically due to things like storm surge, wave action, currents, all sorts of different factors can affect those minimums. So give yourself lots of extra space. Unless you're really love to squeeze through things at the last second, I would give yourself lots of extra space because the minimum tides Sometimes you can't pass at that height without getting wet. So just to know that, practice your tides in advance. So there you go, Petra. That was from earlier, and I can do a whole session on tides. I saw another question about something down here that was, oh yeah, this one here from Stuart. I'm just doing a couple of tech questions here before we head off, and then we're going to do this all over again on the 19th, folks. And thanks for sticking around. 84 on Facebook and 28 on YouTube. Woohoo! Might have broke a record there. Thank you, everyone. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're going to do the live stream giveaway in a moment. I'm just going to do a quick couple of questions here. Tech questions. So yeah, there's water at every official campsite, Stuart. So fresh drinking water at each campsite. They've built the campsites on creeks. And typically there's lots of fresh water in between, unless it's a really dry season. Then there may be longer sections, but it's not desert hiking, it's rainforest hiking. I would be fully hydrated before starting the trip, and I would continue my full hydration at camp, which we're typically at camp 2/3 of every day beside a fresh water source. And then I'm fully hydrated when I start my day. I carry 1 to 1.5 liters, maybe 2 in the driest conditions of the season, and I'm good. And I'm fully hydrated for the whole trip. So great question. Mylene asked this question. So you can drive your car to the trailhead and take the trail bus back. So one of the recommended ways to do this, Mylene, is to start in Victoria, which is the staging area for most people's trips. It's the major center with the airport. Going to Gordon River. So if you have your own car, you drive to Gordon River. And then you hike the trail from Gordon River to Pachina Bay, and then take the trail bus back to your car in Gordon River. That's the least amount of driving from Victoria on the best road. The other way is to drive further around, longer up to Banfield. It is now paved somewhat all the way. There's chip seal on parts of it, but it's almost like paved. But it's a lot longer of a drive to get to the other end. So if you want the shortest drive on the best road, go to Gordon River, hike the trail north, take the trail bus back. That's the way I would do it. There's lots of ways to do it though, so you'll hear many opinions. And just know that, especially in the Facebook group, there's 50,000 people, so that's 50,000 opinions, and it changes all the time. So you need to do the trail multiple times in all conditions with all types of people and all different things happening to get your best advice to offer. So we have this quite a bit where you'll get people's opinions, and I'm an opinionated hiker too, but I try to base my opinions on my experience of doing it multiple times and having hardships and challenges along the way that I learned from that, and I want to do it easier and more efficient the next time. So a question came up today, and I just see a couple other questions that are quite funny here. These ones won't be able to go online. So a question came up today, will I make it from point A to B? So the answer is it depends. It's going to be different for everyone. Just know that what you hear from one person could be completely different for somebody else. And it could be even completely different for that same person if they went at a different time in different conditions. So just something to be conscious of, that the advice you're going to get from the 50,000 people are going to be 50,000 different viewpoints. So you have to make up your own viewpoint based on decisions that you make. Be prepared for the unexpected. Great question, Anne. I'm going to do a couple more here at the end, and then we'll do the giveaway. Top advice for a newbie doing the trail for the first time: research, 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 practice, practice, practice. So read all the information. I've got a document on the West Coast Trail group where I've put a list of the top 10 things to do. I'll share that in the comments later. But it's basically what I've showed you so far. Go read the content online. So go check out our blog. Go check out the West Coast Trail page. Read all this content. Read Blisters and Bliss. It's a really good read. Get the West Coast Trail app. Practice with it. Learn what a Type 3 trail is, so you're expecting the unexpected. Do your due diligence learning about weather, at least minimum weather knowledge, so you can make decisions based on weather. I'll do a whole session on weather forecasting. And then a whole section on tide forecasting. Know the different climate that you're going to be in. It's a rainforest. It's not the desert. Total opposite. Look at all the maps. Just something I just noticed today. So I've got a new weather station. Environment Canada just updated the weather data here. So it goes to 2020, 91 to 2020. It's a better set, and it's from the Cape Beale Light Station. This is the new source for climate data that's closest to the West Coast Trail. And this is something you want to know ahead of time. That even in July and August, it precipitates. And some people think that it's going to be dry and sunny. It might be, but it could also rain the entire allotment of August 84 80, or 85 millimeters in one day on your trip. So be prepared for anything out there. Uh, Make sure you figure out your transportation. Get your gear list sorted. I'll do a whole session on gear. I'll share my link to my gear list. I just updated it today for 2026. If you want to see that, just mention it in the comments. Go watch some YouTube videos. Lots of content out there. Oh, don't do that one. I played that one. There we go. little blurb there. Don't play them on a live stream. You'll get an echo. But yeah, lots of things you can do to learn the trail before you hike it. And then practice, practice, practice. Practice with your gear, your food, your body, and your mind. All those things. Practice, practice, practice. The more hiking you do before you start the West Coast Trail, the better. Try your pack on. Practice in different types of terrain. Try to simulate the West Coast Trail terrain that you'll have experience out there. And I know people from the desert say, well, how am I going to do that? Well, you'll find something. Go when it's raining. I just saw it rain quite a bit down there, and you'll find some mud. Right on. I'm getting a bunch of comments here about things people want to see in the next live streams. Awesome. Thanks for that, folks. Yeah, so I'm going to go back in through the questions here because there's over 200 over the evening and into tomorrow morning. I spent hours following up these live streams. I'm going to go through the questions. I'm going to share all the links with you. I'll send you the gear list link. Yeah, Ursula, I can do a backpacking session. I just got set up in my studio here so I can do some demos. So that's coming. We're working on this. But thanks for the ideas. I'm going to return back here to, wow, all these comments here. 211 comments here. Lots of folks saying they want the gear list. Yeah, we'll do the gear list for sure. You'll get that. Free, no ads. And my gear list, it doesn't have any links to affiliate marketing, which I'm really proud of. We've been building our online content based on our business. We have a business doing guided trips, and I do workshops, and I instruct for other organizations. But all these links here, when you click on them for my gear, these go right to the manufacturer's website. So they're not affiliate links. So we do not get a piece of it when you click on it. So it's just, I think it's just a pure list here. And this is my list. So your list could be different, but it's a good way to get an idea of what you might need. So I categorize my stuff into different sections and I weigh everything. I've got a kitchen scale here and I try to go light but comfortable. I'm not an ultralightist. This is my guiding kit. So I have lightweight gear, but I also have the emergency gear for my clients as well. And I like to eat. So my food is hearty. And I like to do videos and photos, so I bring extra stuff in here you may not need. I have multiple redundancy in my safety equipment, so multiple communication devices. I go light and fun. That's my kit, light and fun. So yeah, we'll check that out. I'll share the link. Lots of folks are keen on the list, right on. Awesome, folks. Okay, so I am just gonna get sorted here and get set up for the next section because we're going to start wrapping up this live stream so we can get to the awesome prize giveaway. So I just shared a ton of info with you. Hopefully some of it was valuable and will help you plan safe, fun, and successful trips on the West Coast Trail in 2026 and beyond. Now it's time for the giveaway. Are we excited? Thumbs up for excitement. Okay, so first you had to have participated in the chat to enter. So you had to have left a comment, asked a question. Got to see your profile picture in there. So you had to have participated in the chat to enter. The next thing is you're going to go to our MB Guiding website. And you're going to go to the contact page. So you can either click on the menu at the top and press contact, or you can scroll to the bottom of any page and press contact. The contact form, you're going to fill out your first name, your last name, your email address. In the subject line, put live stream giveaway. Live stream giveaway in the subject line. And in the message, say hello or ask a question. I try to follow up on all the people, even if they didn't win. If you have questions, I follow up online afterwards, directly with you. So you need to agree to receive communications from me. I am MB Guiding, so Mike Blake Guiding. And then send. Know that you can unsubscribe from communications from me at any time. So just to go over that again, especially if you're watching the replay, you're gonna have to get to this point to figure this out too to get entered. So you had to enter the chat by leaving a comment, asking a question, saying hello, saying where you're coming in from today. Then you're gonna go to the contact form, which is mbguiding.ca/contact. You're gonna put your first name, your last name, your email address. The subject line is live stream giveaway. And then in the message, say hello or ask a question. And I'll try to follow up with everybody afterwards. Agree to receive communications, press send, knowing that you can unsubscribe after you won or after you didn't win at any time. So that's what we're gonna do to get you into the contest. And if you need a repeat on that, the replay will be up shortly. Just scan it right to the end. So what's gonna happen tomorrow morning at around 7, oh no, we're gonna do it in 24 hours. So yeah, I switched this, I'm just gonna update this. So we're gonna give you 24 hours. So at 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm gonna draw the winners using a random comment picker. So I put all the comments into a random picker and then I draw the winners from there. One of our YouTube viewers is gonna win the t-shirt because we're trying to promote the YouTube channel. So youtube.com at Mike Blake. So if you want to enter that way, you can as well. Just make sure you comment on the YouTube. And I will contact the winners with instructions to claim your prize packages. So good luck, everyone. Hopefully that's some fun for you. Just seeing some final comments here coming in. Right on, everyone. Well, this has been super fun for me. I'm going to be doing this again on January the 19th, first thing in the morning. It's going to be 12 hours earlier because the reservations are at 8 a.m. Pacific time. I'll probably come online before 7 a.m. to go through the reservation process, logging in and all that. In the meantime, go to the reservation website and try it out for yourself. Figure it out. Feel free to ask me questions anytime in the chat, the comments. You can go to our website, ask me questions there. We have a chat feature on the website too. I should show you that. So on the bottom right corner, if you click on this little feature here, you can chat with me directly as well if I'm on the internet. Just click on that little guy down there, and then we can chat directly that way too. So I'm always keen to answer questions. All right, so go check out our website here, mbguiding.ca. If you're keen for a guided trip, we are almost fully booked for 2026. We have 3 spots only available on the West Coast Trail, July 12th to 18th. So if you're keen on joining us, those are the 3 spots, and they're going to go eventually. So you want to get those spots. Contact me if you have any questions about it. We are booking for 2027 right now. So we're filling up trips already for 2027. I can do 5 West Coast Trail trips in 2026 and probably 5 again in 27. So I was 4 last year, 5 the year before, and then since 2015, I've been doing it 1 to 3 times per year, except for 2020, which it was closed. So yeah, go check out our website, go check out our guided trips. If you're keen on learning about workshops and some other things I do, just click on the links there. If you're keen on learning some other trips we do, if you just want to learn them, you don't need a guide, you just want to hear from a guide and how they do it, we've got a bunch of other trips in our blog too, which give you the instruction manual on how to plan those trips as well. And then if you're wondering what our trips are like, I can't tell you as much as our trip clients. They have the best advice to give you versus me. So yeah, check out our website, mbguiding.ca, and feel free to contact me anytime with questions. So we're planning out our winter live stream schedule and would love to hear your feedback on what we should do next. So we're coming up to the January 19th session, but we're also going to be doing some North Coast Trail sessions, Nooka Trail sessions, Strathcona Park trip planning sessions. But if you have some ideas, give them in the comments. So if you like to hear more Q&A sessions, gear sessions, just add your ideas in the comments. We'll share them in the chat. We'll post upcoming events on our social channels. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and click on the events to get notifications when we go live again. If you enjoyed this live stream, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment if you're keen for more. You can also share the replay, share our websites, and share our social channels too. So that's all for now, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the trails. Bye-bye.